Looking for more games to play with friends? Here are 10 titles you can pick up right now that won't cost you a thing. Playing games with friends brings out the best in us. Putting our minds together to solve puzzles, the joy of teaming up to bring down a big boss, the satisfaction of a job well done. It also brings out the worst in us. The moments when we shoot a friend in the back, ruining puzzles just to watch them rage, or shooting them in the back at the same time as ruining a puzzle. Whichever side you fall into, playing games with someone else is fun. And if those games are free, it makes the whole experience even better. So here are 10 games you can play with friends that won't cost either of you a cent.
Hi-ho, hi-ho.
Nothing compares to the feeling of bringing down a huge mythical beast with a friend at your side. But this isn't Monster Hunter. Dauntless is a totally free MMORPG that brings you all the fun of the latter without having to open your virtual wallet. As a slayer, you hunt down and attack behemoths, hulking beasts with brute force and elemental powers. It's not just about wailing on them with a sword either, as you can learn these underlying strengths and weaknesses, such as frost or blaze, to gain advantage. If you're more of a hack slash and hope for the best kind of fighter though, teaming up with a more considered pal could be key to winning. It's vast in things to do for all sorts of players, in the size of beasts you fight, but thankfully, not in price. You've played Wild Hunt. You've sung along to the TV show. Maybe you've even read some of the books. And you're wondering, is there any more Witcher content I can consume? You bet. That minigame from the series now stands on its very own battlefield and absolutely deserves a place in your games list. In Gwent, you lead armies to battle through a carefully selected set of cards. And like any other digital card game, it's all about strategy. Picking the most powerful, while appealing, won't necessarily win you the game. There's a lot of thinking on your feet and adapting to the game as it changes around you. As Gwent is a game of planning ahead, it then becomes all the more interesting if your opponent is a well-known friend. Playing to their weaknesses is easier and, of course, much more enjoyable. You'll get them next time.
It's not a game for everyone. Requires an analytical mind.
Dogs are man's best friend. And now in Kika and Daigo, they're your best friend too. This split-screen mystery can only be solved by working together, so make sure you select a loyal canine you can trust. Players who pick Kika are the brains of the operation, directing and exploring, while Daigo can get into small spaces and, most importantly, poop. With each of these unique skills, you'll solve the mystery of your grandpa's disappearance. They seem like the ideal companions, but when it's your friend behind the doggo, it'll seem less adorable and more annoying very quickly. If they could just stop running circles around you for 5 minutes, you might actually find a clue. It's a great reminder of why you don't play puzzles with certain friends. I'm sure Grandpa is fine. Back to back with a friend, robots closing in, health close to zero, your entire friendship has led to this point. In Synthetik Arena, you and a friend can team up to face off waves of robotic enemies in a, arena. It's the kind of fight club you'll want to tell even your mom and dog about. There's no secrets here, anyone in your life could be a new recruit. Pick from dozens of weapons to get to grips with and customize to suit your playstyle. While there are limited stages to fight your way through, they're endlessly replayable, and for a game that costs you nothing, that's a pretty sweet deal. If you do want even more enemies to fight, you can move on to Synthetik Legion Rising, which this standalone is actually an expansion for. But you'll probably be too busy blasting drones to step away and check it out. Just one more round. Have you always wondered what you'd do if you were trapped in an abandoned castle with a friend with nothing but the base desire to survive? No? Well, now you can. In We Were Here, you and a friend stumble out of the snowy tundra and become separated in the dark corridors of Scary Looming Castle. That's probably the official name. One of you waits, locked in a room you'll never escape alone, while the other explores dark recesses in the hopes of freeing you both. You only have a walkie-talkie to communicate, so mics are a must, and through clues from what you discover in both locations, you might be able to find each other in time. It's the ideal escape room to experience when you'd rather not leave your home. And as it won't cost you a thing, it saves on the hefty bill too. Just make sure you play with someone helpful, or you might be trapped in the castle forever. Gear up and team up, as fighting has never been so cute. In Relic Hunter Zero, you and a bounty hunting pal can travel across the universe to defeat monstrously adorable space turtles and ducks. Well, as long as they stay alive, that is. Otherwise, you're on your own for the remainder of the level. You collect guns, big and small, as you go, giving you long and short range attacks depending if you want to ruffle feathers from afar or punch shells up close. Taking down enemies is always better when there's a companion dodging and firing bullets with you. And since Relic Hunter Zero is available for free, it won't be hard to convince your nearest and dearest trigger-happy buddies to play. If you get totally addicted, you'll also be pleased to know that Relic Hunter's Legend is out this year, for different but equally colourful gunplay. The duck hordes never stop. In The Cycle, you're a prospector where the new gold is alien resources. And just like the gold rush of our universe, you're not the only one hoping to score big. Fortuna is a chance to get rich, but it's also a competition against not only the aggressive wildlife, but your fellow man. You can form alliances to get out alive, but remember, everyone is out for themselves. Or out for purple rocks, anyway. Luckily, you can team up with friends who you trust to get you to the evac ship, or trust to distract angry creatures while you make a run for it. Hey, there's always next time. They won't mind. Described as a competitive quest shooter, it refreshes the battle royale genre. You'll feel like you've struck gold, as, just like all the other games on this list, the only thing it will cost you is time. And be warned, being a space cowboy is hard to step away from. It might just be what I was born to do. Or maybe that's wishful thinking.
Mineral contract completed.
War. What is it good for? Providing hours of fun while you roll over grassy hills in your armoured tank, blasting at enemies hiding in bushes. For all us history geeks, it's the details that make the difference in War Thunder. Everything is designed after World War II or Cold War items, so you're playing with the past each match. But the realism doesn't end there, as most of the play feels accurate, whether it's scanning the horizon for enemies rather than relying on the computer to help, or taking down the operators inside rather than the HP of a vehicle. You can also use your all-powerful tank mass to destroy bits of the environment around you. It never gets old. Of course, the most fun comes from teaming up with friends and others online to take on hordes of enemies. You can't put a price on that. Although War Thunder has, and amazingly, it's free. real life is overrated. It's much more fun to spend your time gallivanting about fantasy planes with friends in tow. In Albion Online, you can fulfill all your fantastical dreams, be they from any standard fantasy media. You can become a champion warrior with a sword in hand, or a peaceful farmer, providing much needed resources. You and friends can work together to achieve whatever you want in the sandbox of Albion Online. Everyone can create their own empire. There are tons of free MMOs to choose from, but Albion Online's freedom and opportunity really sells it. And as it's playable cross-platform, it's even easier to convince your friends to join in and provide free labor to bring your blueprints to life. Just get them to work mining ore while you sit back and reap the rewards. Or however you usually play with your friends. Minion, mate, the words are all the same to me. Imagine if Mario had a rival that wasn't Bowser, but another mustachioed plumber who wanted to get to the end before him. Well, give Mario a gun and that's the joy of Madrun. Everyone leaping through the colourful levels wants the competition erased, and with an arsenal of weapons behind them, they can achieve just that. While the graphics might push you to believe it's free, the amount of fun you'll get suggests it definitely shouldn't be. Well, it is all fun and games until someone pulls out a fish bomb. That's unforgivable. Through snow, jungle, and even the moon, the levels never get boring, mainly because bombing your friends is infinitely satisfying. Those split-second decisions between ploughing forward to win or stopping to get a weapon and throw your friend into the mysterious gaps of the world make it interesting. But we all know the right decision. Enjoy the pit. So, those were the best games you can play with friends without a scolding or so much as a frown from your bank account. Let us know your favourite titles to keep you and your pals entertained in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this. If you do already subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss when another upload arrives for free.